Hello, everyone, and happy spring. I think that's a really good thing for us to think about is spring and all the letting go that happens in order for us to have a spring. All of the leaves that fall, all of the blossoms that die and are then reborn in the spring, little buds, and all of the unfolding of the leaves. And so I just wanted today to think about, that return that we're returning home, that we're constantly and always returning home. And it's just interesting to think about, all of the ways that we're called to let go so that we can. All of the ways that we um, need to give things up and surrender things, and how we're just oftentimes the things that we least want to surrender are the things we most need to surrender. So it was just interesting to think about how returning home, really returning home to ourselves, to our own center, how we can really find our way only from being at home. We can also only really surrender things from being at home. So today I was thinking about returning home to ourselves, returning home to our bodies, returning home to our lives, returning home to what has the most meaning for us, the most value, what it is that we most cherish, and that's hard on the days when it sucks, when things aren't the way we want them to be, when we're like, oh my gosh, this doesn't make sense to me, or that's not something I want to do, or it's interesting to think about. It's not always easy for us to stay home because we'll get wrapped up in this thing that is really there just to keep us from being home and keep us from seeing home and kind of blocks our vision. And so, how can we see clearly? We can surrender, we can let go, we can give things up. And then, of course, we also need to make the steps necessary in order to blossom, in order to bloom. We need to be in the right place. We need to have, good people around us. We need to make sure that we're being a good person to us and to the people around us. Are we being that? And so returning home to self, to body, to life, and then what am I letting go of in order to return to what I most want to return to and what does have that most meaning to me. And I have a textbook in one of my courses that I worked with for many years, which is called The Anamkara by a man named John O'Donohue. And in this book, there is a prayer that he wrote called Benakt, and it is from this book, Anamkara. I wanted to share this with you. It says, on the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays on the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so, may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Benakt. It's by John O'Donohue, and that's from his work Anamkara. And I appreciate his work in such a myriad of ways, and especially as having it as a textbook for my course for many years. There was this way where people would really discover what it meant to befriend themselves and to be a friend to themselves. And I love the word anukara because it means a soul friend, someone who is a friend of your soul, and that we can also be a friend of our own soul, that we can be a mentor, a friend, an ally, a healer to our own spirit and to our own soul. So when I think about John O'Donohue's work, I really think about his prayers and how he he was really a voice for the earth, and a voice of prayer for the earth, and a voice of invocation for love and for the divine to come to the sweet face of Mother Nature and Mother Earth. And so I really have appreciated his work for so many years. And I'm so happy that I was able to read that to you, this like work of medicine, this medicine that he has given us in his words. And so, if we need respite, if we need shelter, if we need a safe harbor, if we need hope, we have prayer. We have the ability. We need to let go, in order to create some hope. We have prayer, and prayer can do that for us. Prayer can help us to let go. It can help us to, be in a conversation with the divine. It can help us to experience something greater that can really hold and carry us through, and that can really create that safe harbor. And so in that safe harbor, when I am a friend to myself, that is a form of returning home, as he states in his prayer and his blessing that he sends out into the future, even past his own lifespan. Just he sends that medicine into the future. And so I wanted to read this insight meditation, and this is by Ajahn Chah. It's an insight meditation, and as I'm talking a little bit here about, returning home and returning to self and returning to body, and and letting go in order to do that. Also we have to be here. We have to be within ourselves. We need to be gazing out at the world in order to be known, in order to be seen, in order to experience, in order to really be on a true pilgrimage here on earth. And so what is my pilgrimage? As I'm closing with this, it's, what is it that I want to return to? What is my home? Where do I want to invest? What does have meaning for me, and how can I invest in that? And so one of the ways is prayer, of course, but also one of the ways is to take steps in the right direction and to do the right thing, and to make sure that we're aligning with with many Buddhist principles, which is the alignment of right relationship and right livelihood and right thought. And so there are many of those ways that are very precious, and that were brought globally, that have been given globally because of the need for that alignment with meaning. And so I want to finish today with this insight meditation, and it's Ajahn Chah. And please forgive me on my pronunciation. I know it's probably not the pronunciation, but it's spelled Achanchah. And it's called the Insight Meditation. And it is something that I believe can do a lot of good in the world. So it says, do everything with a mind that lets go. Do everything with a mind that lets go. Do not expect any praise or reward. Do not expect any praise or reward. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will know complete peace and freedom. Your struggles with the world will have come to an end. Your struggles with the world will have come to an end. That's the Insight Meditation by Achaan, first name, last name, Chah. Ajahn Chah. And so, great mystery, please guide us, guide our minds and our hearts in the right direction. May we be the visionaries and healers that you would have us be. May the world come to peace. May we come to peace internally and externally and everywhere now. Thank you. Oh, amen. Have a beautiful day. See you next Thursday.